And welcome everybody. Today we're gonna be taking a look at the best way to do your stellar. Now, whenever you open this page, it might seem a little bit confusing, so don't worry. This is gonna be a guide from A to Z, everything you need to know about your stellar. So we have a bunch of empty slots here. If we wanna fill in these slots, we're gonna be using luminous selena. Luminous selena you can get by extracting any piece of gear, or you can actually get it by buying Selena exchange tickets from the agent shop. As you can see, I have 20,000 Selena, and I think that's gonna be more than enough to actually fill in this whole tree. Now, we also have these 5 options over here: Desire, Grief, Fury, Oblivion, and Emptiness. And if we move further into these stats, as you can see, the price of Selena actually increases. And the further you go up this line over here, basically the grade of the link increases. Now in PlayCabal, you should always have this on max. Not only that we have a better chance of actually getting an emptiness link, we're also gonna have a little bit of a better chance at better stats. And this is very, very important. So as soon as you start your stellar, we're first gonna focus on line 1, which only has 4 slots in. We're gonna completely skip line 2, and I'll explain that in just a second, and we'll move on to line 3, which has 8 slots in total. Then again, we're gonna skip line 4 completely for right now, and we'll move on to line 5, which is one of the biggest lines. It actually has 12 slots inside. Now, the reason we wanna fill in these 3 lines first, and I think it's always best if I show it with an example. Here we go. These 3 lines are actually gonna give us really nice link effects. So the very first goal is basically to get emptiness stats or emptiness link on these 3 lines over here. And if we do so, we can see what kind of stats we gain. So for line number 1, which is this one, which only has 4 slots, if all of them are emptiness grade, we actually get normal attack damage up plus 14% and 105 defense. That is crazy amount of stats. Then for line 3, we get all attack up plus 120 and 70 damage reduction. And then for line 5, as you can see, we get 30% critical damage and 100 ignore penetration. Very, very good stats all around. Now, the reason we don't see any bonuses for Link 2 and Link 4 is because, as you can see, all of them for right here are mixed. Like this one is Grief, Grief, Oblivion, Fury, Fury, Oblivion. If you want to get a link bonus, all of these slots, they have to be the same link. So for example, line 1, as you can see, is all emptiness, line 3 all emptiness as well, same as line 5, while line 2 and line 4 are completely mixed. The reason I didn't focus on getting emptiness on line 2 and line 4 is because line 2 and line 4 bonuses are only useful for PvP. Which, in all honesty, if you're just starting your stellar, PvP is not gonna be your biggest concern. And even if you're the most hardcore PvP player, I would still suggest to do line 3, line 1, line 3, and line 5 first to emptiness. And instead of actually trying to get these ones to emptiness link as well, we're just gonna shoot for the best stats possible. So as you can see, I have some critical damage here, I have some penetration here, and everywhere else the stats are kinda random. Alrighty, so let's start the upgrading. So we put it on the maxed emptiness line. It's gonna cost us 35 Selena per 1 try, and we press imprint. Now you could either press close and just imprint again, or what you could do, just right click anywhere here 1 time, and then you're gonna be able to use your spacebar. And trust me, it's just gonna make things so much easier. So then again, we're not even looking at the stats. We're only searching for emptiness link. And there we go, look at this, the very first emptiness, perfect. We keep this one, and then we can try to slot a second line. And before we do that, let me just quickly explain what are the best possible stats for each line. Just in case, even if you're rolling just for emptiness, just in case you get like 15 penetration and it's gonna be like Grief, then you keep it still, because penetration is literally the best possible stat that you can get on this line. So let me show you with an example. And we'll take a look at my main character over here. Yes, I have a lot of characters. So basically, this is how your stellar link should look like. As you can see, everything here is emptiness. And if we look at the obtained stat, here it has PvE penetration 8, PvP penetration 8, penetration 15, and penetration 8 once more. So penetration is the best possible stat that you can get on line 1. 15 penetration is the absolute maximum. 8 penetration is the second to maximum. So what we call it basically from tier 1 to tier 5 stats. So since this one is the maximum stat, we call it tier 5 stat. Since this one is the second to maximum, we call it tier 4. Tier 3 would be 5 penetration, tier 2 would be 3 penetration, and tier 1 I believe it's either gonna be 1 or 2 penetration. Then on the second line, as you can see, PvE critical damage is the best possible stat. And as you can see, I have every single one of them at 4%. Now the best possible stat that you could get would be 7 critical damage. That would be considered tier 5. Then 5 critical damage would be considered tier 4. And what I have here is tier 3, which is 4 critical damage. Tier 2 is gonna be 3 critical damage, and tier 1 is gonna be 2 critical damage. Now when we're moving on line 3, the best possible stat here is gonna be all attack up. And as you can see, mine is all attack up 20, that's a tier 4 stat. The best possible stat is gonna be right over here, and it gives me 40 all attack up. Then tier 3 stat would be 12 attack up. And to be fair, like tier 1 and tier 2, you don't even really worry about it, you know what I mean? If you get anything less than 12 all attack up, you can just safely re-roll it. As you can see, mine, I have nothing less than 20 all attack up in here. Now for line 4, the best stat is gonna be same as line 1, it's gonna be penetration. And now with this tree, I actually did get very, very lucky. As you can see, I have penetration 8 here, another 8 penetration here, which is basically tier 4 stats. And now look at this, penetration 15, that's the best possible one. And not only did I hit it once, I actually hit it multiple times. Look at this, another 15 penetration, then 8 penetration, and another 15 penetration. I am super, super proud of my line 4 stats. And everything else is 8 penetration over here. And then line 5 is gonna be exactly same as line 2. The best possible stat is gonna be critical damage. And as you can see here, I did manage to roll a couple of perfect stats as well, which I'm super, super happy about. I actually got 3 of them. Look at this, 3 perfect stats. Now that's a beauty right here. Everything else is critical damage 3 or critical damage 4. Alrighty, without further ado, let's start upgrading. So now you know what stats go into what lines. Now I'll just show you the method of how we actually do it. Okay, so as I said, firstly on line 1, 3, and 5, I'm only gonna focus... Oh, look at this, PvE penetration 8. Now this is a rare occurrence, to be fair. And I know that I said that I would only focus on emptiness, but since you actually got 8 penetration, which is a tier 4 stat, and the best possible stat for this line, I'm actually gonna keep it. Now once this happens, you can actually press close, and instead of working in here, you're gonna press link transformation. So I'm actually super glad that it happened. We'll press link transformation, and there you go. You can actually use luminous souls to basically force the color that you want. So if I wanted grief, it would only cost me 2 luminous souls. If I wanted oblivion, it would cost me 9. But we all know that I want emptiness. And emptiness costs 16 souls. There's actually 3 ways to get souls. So one is gonna be do your weak Apollo of Death dungeon. This dungeon can be located at our favorite NPC, Event Girl Yule. And this dungeon, keep in mind, is only available at Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So if it's the weekend, you're gonna find this bar right here, which says PlayCabal Happy Weekend. We're gonna press it, and there you go, you have your copy of Apollo of Death right here. Even on the weekends, you can only do this once per day. So make sure that you always do it on the weekends. Like, I cannot stress enough how important this is. It doesn't matter if you're day 1 in the server or day 200 in the server. Everybody is gonna do one run of this on the weekend. And this is where you're gonna get most of your luminous souls. Now, another way And this way I actually don't recommend at all, but since it's there, I'm gonna show you. You can actually type in soul in the agent market, and as you can see, you can buy 1 soul for 5 million. The reason I don't recommend it is it's basically just a waste of alls. Trust me, if you do weak up Outlet of Dead, sometimes you can even drop like 70 souls per run. So buying your souls one by one, it's really not worth it, especially for this amount. And then the third and the final way, which also I wouldn't recommend too much. Like I would say just stick to your weak up Outlet of Deads, and this is where you get all of your luminous souls. But if you must, you can actually buy luminous souls with DP as well. So as you can see, it's gonna cost you 100 dungeon points to get 5 luminous soul. Again, I don't really recommend it, but if you really want it and you don't wanna wait for the weekends, this is still better than actually buying them on the agent shop. Alrighty, let's keep it upgrading. And look at this emptiness stat over here, I'm gonna keep it. And another emptiness over here, happy days. Now, as you can see, since this one is Fury and not Emptiness, I'm actually not getting my Link bonus. But still, trust me, like, this type of stat is not easy to roll. Don't be mistaken. We actually got very lucky to roll this stat. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna wait for the weekend. Or should I say wait for tomorrow, because for today I already did my week up Outlet of Dead. And then tomorrow, hopefully week up Outlet of Dead is gonna drop me 16 souls. And then I'll use those to basically switch the stat into Emptiness grade, and then I'm gonna receive my Link effect. Alrighty, now let's move on line 3. As always, we switch this one to an absolute max, and we keep on rolling. Again, I would ignore every single stat apart from all attack up. There we go, we got Emptiness, that's actually what we want. So let's move on the second slot. And we'll try to fill in this whole line with Emptiness first. This is basically the strategy, right? We first get the easiest points, and to get the full line on Emptiness, it's fairly easy. That's why we do it the first, so then we'll get a bunch of combat power, and then if we still have Luminous Selena left, we'll work on the other lines. There we go, another Emptiness, beautiful. There we go, Emptiness. As you can see, it's not even that hard, right? We only spend less than 4,000 Selena, and we already have this much. Another Emptiness, let's go. And when I'm about to hit the final Emptiness stats, I'll actually take a look at my combat power just to show you guys how much combat power you actually gain from the Link bonus itself. Like, trust me, it's an absolute massive boost. There we go, Emptiness, brilliant. So you can see that Emptiness is so much easier to roll than actually like the perfect stat that you want. That's why if you get lucky like we did with the penetration, you must keep it. Trust me, you're gonna regret it if you don't. There we go, another Emptiness stat, beautiful. We only spend 8,000 Selena. I think that's actually pretty good. There we go, perfect. One more stat remaining, so let's just take a look at our combat power right now. It's 336,000. And we'll see how much it increases once we hit Emptiness on the very last stat. There we go, we hit it, and now Link 3 is in full effect. We just gained 120 all attack up and 70 damage reduction. And look at this, 341,000 combat power. That's literally over 7,000 combat power just like that. That's what I'm saying, guys. Line 1, line 3, and line 5 are absolutely overpowered. So once you get all of these 3 lines done, only then you would fill line 2 and line 4, and once those are filled with pretty much any stats, it doesn't matter, only then you would start working on basically the stats that you want. Because it's still better to have something in here than nothing, you know what I mean? And you already know that the best possible stat, just to recap, line 1 is penetration, line 2 is critical damage, line 3 is all attack up, line 4 is penetration, and line 5 is critical damage. And then sooner or later your stellar is gonna look something like this. You might notice that my Link 5 doesn't have Emptiness, and it's basically just because I don't have enough Luminous Soul, unfortunately. But you know, I'll keep waiting for the next weekend, I'll try to get more, and sooner or later all of this is gonna be with the purple color as well. So yeah guys, I hope that explains the stellar system, the best way how to do it. And if you feel like you need any more guides on any topic, just let me know and I will go ahead and make them. As always, if you're enjoying these episodes, make sure to like the video. And if you want to join PlayCabal server, I have my referral link in the description. So thank you again so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.